Okay, guys, good morning again. I can only hope this network is a bit better now. So welcome to another section of the virtual assistant training. So I'm just going to go straight to our presentation for today. Please don't forget to put your name down in the comment section. That is going to serve as an attendance for you. And don't also forget to ask questions in the comment section. So I'll get to see it, or any of our admin is going to see it, and then they will revert back to me. Okay. So today we'll be discussing about hold on. Okay, so today we'll be talking about Google Blogger. Okay, so just like I mentioned that this is one of the Google productivity tools that you would find. Okay, so for those of you that don't actually have a system, it's going to be a bit difficult for you, to create this. Okay, but I think Google Blogger also comes in form of an app, so you can go to either your Play Store or your App Store to check for it. Okay, I'm not entirely sure if they do, but Google has apps for all their productivity tools, so you just need to search for it. Okay, so this section is going to be about Google Blogger. Okay, it's not one of those things we talked about extensively in the beginning of our introduction to Google Workspace, but no, it is one of the features of Google, and you're going to be using this Google Blogger, okay, because it's more like a blog spot. You're going to be using it to create a virtual assistant portfolio. Okay, so that is the main idea why we're introducing it to you right now. Okay, so let's go into it. Now, what is Google Blogger? What is Google Blogger? Now, Google Blogger is a free blogging platform that is owned by Google. Okay, so if you should go to that 9 dots that I told you about and you click on it, you will see the B sign, which serves as the Google Blogger. You see it in one of the apps listed. You will see it in one of the apps listed. Okay, so Google Blogger is one of those apps. So once you just click on it, you see it. You can just scroll down, you will see it. So it's owned by Google. It's not like a third-party app. Now you can access it with a Gmail account. So once you have a Gmail account, you already have access to a Google Blogger. Yeah. Now Google Blogger is also to create blogs and simple websites. Now, don't forget there was a time I told you that apart from the fact that Google has this Google Blogger, it also has a site blog, okay? Something that mimic like a website. Okay, but that one is a bit technical, so we would not go into it. And because of how versatile the Google Blogger itself is, this is why we are using it for the course of this training. Now, Google Blogger is also hosted on the Blogspot domain, and you can also do a custom domain. So when we go into the practical aspects, you will understand what the domain is and what we mean by a custom domain, a Blogspot domain. Okay. Now, what are the key characteristics? Okay, please give me a moment. Let me see if my screen is still sharing. Okay, so it's still sharing. Now, what are the, okay, let me pin this to my, okay, so it's still sharing. So what are the key characteristics of this Google blog that we're talking about? Now, we're going to be learning some other characteristics as well, and you're going to be seeing some that, are addressing a particular pain point. Okay, now the first one is no hosting or technical setup required. Okay, now unlike you building a website that you can say, oh, this is my portfolio, okay, and you would entail you having some you in fact you will need to probably pay for a domain name, you will need to look for a hosting partner, you will need to look for hosting packages, okay. Those are very technical things that you might even have to outsource, you know, to maybe a web developer or somebody, maybe a WordPress developer, depending on what you actually want. Now, for this, you don't necessarily need hosting because everything is hosted by Google. Google is already carrying all the heavyweights, okay, and there is no technical setup required. All you just need to do is click this, click that, just to have the basic functionality. Okay, now it also has a beginner friendly interface. Okay, it has a beginner friendly interface. So when we go into the tutorial aspect of it, you're going to be seeing why we say it has a beginner friendly interface. Okay, and it's suitable for portfolios, it's suitable for blogs and personal websites. Okay, so we'll just move along. Now, why virtual assistants should use Blogger? Now, you might be wondering that, oh, but people don't rate Blogger, especially for the fact that at the end of the URL, it always carries blogspot.com. You know, a lot of people always feel like it's not personalized to what they would have actually want. But there are different advantages to why you should use a blogger, especially to build it as a portfolio for yourself. Okay, so let's address some of it. Now, for virtual assistants, bloggers serve as one, an online portfolio to showcase skills and services. Okay, don't forget, we are trying to build a portfolio for you. And we are saying that this particular tool, this particular app, is perfect to showcase online portfolio, to showcase your skill and services. Now, don't forget, in the general aspect, in fact, when I teach my students, I usually tell them that you can build a portfolio. You can use Canva to build a portfolio. You can build a website for a portfolio. You can even use platforms like Medium. There's so many platforms that host, that can host a portfolio for you. Okay, but most of them are not as versatile as Blogger. Okay, I'm going to explain why in the tutorial. Now, the second thing is that a professional digital presence for clients. This is why you should use Blogger. It provides you like a professional digital presence for clients. Clients would want to know, if you are using, if you created a PDF and you say, oh, this is my portfolio, okay, it's just going if you give it to if you send it to a client is just going to read through it, and the portfolio might just include work you've already done, who you worked with, and maybe sample pictures of the kind of work you've done. That's all. Okay, but with this blogger, you should be able to personalize it to a point where you would convince that client that yes, I can do this job, this is why you should hire me. Okay, and it is so versatile. You can use it in different form. If you want to create a page, a post, things like that, you can personalize it in such a way that it reflects very well to what you're trying to build. Now, don't forget that we have different platforms, just like I mentioned, that can host your portfolio. But sometimes you would need technical skills to navigate how to, combine all the tools on those platforms together, just so you can build a portfolio for yourself. Now, for you starting out as a virtual assistant, this is a very, good opportunity for you to present yourself to your client. It will look like, oh, you are face to face talking to your client. Okay. So another thing that bloggers serve as is a place to display your work sample, your testimonials, your contact details. Now, ahead of just you typing out the testimonial, the work sample, the contact details, you can design it specifically to what you want. Okay, so this is one of the advantages also. Now, what are the benefits? Now, don't forget that we are trying to say why this blogger is something that virtual assistant should use. Okay, now what are the benefits? Number one, it's free. As long as you have a Google account, you have access to use the Google Blogger. It has a zero cost, a zero maintenance. In fact, you don't even need to upgrade to premium to use it. Okay, it's not one of those Google tools that you would have to pay for premium before you use it. No, it's free, it has zero cost, and it's zero maintenance. You don't now you should understand that most of those third-party apps that I was talking about, for example, if you have a WordPress page or an account and you already built a website, maybe a WordPress website, okay, you would have to regularly, maybe per week or per month or in every 2 weeks, to update all the plugins you've used, all the themes that you've used. In fact, you might even need to upgrade the entire WordPress alone. And that doesn't also um, you have to, there are some certain bugs that you might encounter on, you know, those are kind of little things that makes this particular blogger perfect to use as a starting virtual assistant. Now, number two, it's easy to update. You can quickly update on anything. You don't have to go through a process of logging in, logging out. As long as you have your Gmail account or your Google account in the general aspect of things, you have access to use it. So it's easy to update. Okay. Now, speed and reliability is one of those things. Now, one thing you need to understand is that this platform that we are talking about is run on Google servers. Okay, so it doesn't it's lightweight in the general aspect of things, just like how it will take maybe few seconds for your Gmail to open. That is the same way that your portfolio will open for your clients. It doesn't, if your client should click on a particular link, there are some pages, some websites that it will take so long for it to open, and you don't want to experience that. You don't want to project that for your clients. Okay, so this is why it is very important. Speed and reliability. It's very easy to open. Immediately somebody click on a particular link, within seconds they are on that site. Now, next one is the search engine edge. Now, don't forget that this Google Blogger is run on Google server. Okay, so, and you know that I've told you earlier in the previous classes that anything that has to do with Google, they relate and they interact with each other. Okay, for example, Google Docs, Google Sheets, Google Drive, they all work together. That's the same thing with this. So everything works seamlessly. So imagine if by the time you finish doing your portfolio, somebody is searching on Google and searching virtual assistants in Lagos. Trust me, your portfolio will be part of the ones that would appear because it's run directly from Google server. Okay. If somebody is saying administrative virtual assistants in advocacy, automatically it will bring out my platform because it is running directly on Google server. Okay, so this is why it is also important that every virtual assistant jump on this Google Blogger. Now, the next one is shareable link for job application and client pictures. Now, if you want to, send your portfolio to a client, instead of sending the average PDF where they just get to see your work, that's all, you can you can share the URL link. You can share specific pages you want them to even land on. Okay. You can do all of those things using this platform. Now, it's also portable and you know it has ownership. For example, if you want to transfer, if let's assume you now become a big time virtual assistant and you want to have like an authentic portfolio for yourself, and decide that okay, let me let me create a website, you know. So if I'm using saying Adeoluwa at blogspot, .com. I can decide that, oh, I've now gotten funds, I've now made a little bit more money. I want to, promote my personal brand in a professional kind of outlook. So I would need a custom domain, to push this thing forward. I feel like, okay, I need to have a website. Okay, all the content that you've done on your Google Blogger, it is very easy for you to export them to your new website without you saying, oh, I need to start all over again. It is very easy. That is why we call it that. It's very portable. Okay, so let's go to the next slide. Now, what clients look for in a virtual assistant portfolio? Okay, so we have class on brand management. Please give me a minute. Okay, so we'll have class on our brands on brand management next week. I think it's next week or maybe next week. I'm not sure. I have to check the calendar. But we have classes on brand management. Now, there we're going to be teaching you how to position yourself in such a way that when client sees you, they automatically goes for you. Okay, but here when you submit a link or you give a client your URL to check, these are exactly the things that clients would like to see. Okay, number one, clients expect clear description of service offered. Now, whether you're a medical virtual assistant or you work within the administrative virtual assistant or you're an executive virtual assistant to maybe an executive CEO, okay, or you're a social media virtual assistant, depending on whatever you want to do. Or maybe you are into the real estate virtual assistant work, you need to, clients need to see clear description to know that, oh, this is what this person is doing. This is the service they can offer. Okay, these are very important things that you need to note down. And the reason why I'm saying this now is because when you want to create your um, blogger page, make sure that you have all these things down. For example, your descriptions, the services that you offer, make sure that you have it down. Okay, now clients also want to see proof of competence and specialization. Okay, so this is where your testimonial comes in. You can ask people to give you character, to testify to your character so that they see that, oh, you are somebody that they can still work with. We're going to talk about that I think in the next slide. Okay, now clients also want to see easy navigation and content access. Okay, they want to see contact access. So they want to see that, oh, this is where to contact this person from. And Google Blogger even have contact form page that immediately your client is putting that, oh, they would like to contact you. Automatically you are getting an email. In fact, when you create your blog page, automatically you are getting an email to notify you that, oh, you've just created this blog page. If you want people to subscribe to your blog page, this is the link you need to click. This is the link you need to share. Everything is working seamlessly within the Google Workspace session. So this is why it's very important. Now, your blog page should communicate, number one, who you are, two, what you do, three, who you will help, okay, and how to contact you. Now, if you're adding any other things like maybe client's testimony, your the workflows you've done in the past, how you've been able to help certain clients to do certain things, even your work process. Yes. If you should want to add all those things, those are a lot of things that you need to add. But make sure that these four things, are on your blog space. Clients would want to, in fact, they will want to see this more than they want to see the kind of things you've been doing in the past, or how you navigate your work, things like that, tools you even use. Okay, they will want to see if you're somebody that, yes, they can work with. Do you have the physique to work? Do you have can you do you have presentational skills? They will want to see all those things. How you do your work, the people you help. Probably you've helped the CEO of ABC Capitals before in the past, to manage his whole mailbox for maybe 2 months. They won't see that, okay? And how you can even help them. They will want to see that also. Now, how to contact you, please. In anything you do on your blog page, make sure there's a channel for contact. Okay, it is very, 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 very important. Now, what are the requirements before setup? What are the requirements before setup? Number one, you need your Gmail account. Like I mentioned, if you don't have a Gmail account, you won't have access to use the Google Blog space. Okay, you won't have access to use it. Number two, you need internet access, of course. Anything you're doing online, remember, Google itself is a browser-enabled system. Okay, it means you need to be connected directly to the internet to work. Okay, the third one is a clear idea of your virtual assistant niche. Now, this is, you can say that this is why I was saying that everybody needs to know the kind of niche that they want to do. Okay, so if your resume is saying, oh, you're a medical virtual assistant, but you don't want to do that, you're more aligned with administrative virtual assistants. Okay, so you need a clear idea of the one you want to do, your niche, the services you want to provide. Okay, these are things that you need to understand before you even say, oh, I want to create a blog page. Okay, now the content to add. Now, just like I mentioned when we were doing the business proposal, when we were doing the report, that you must have a document at hand, okay, before you create or design the report or the proposal. This is the exact way you need to, have the content ready. If not, you would feel like, oh, this is not working the way I want it to. You might even get fed up. So have your content down before you start. So before we even go into the area, I'm sure you know what have as what you need before you create blogspot page. Okay. Now, how to create a professional title and URL. So one thing you would need, in fact, this is the first thing. Yeah, this is the first thing that you would need. Okay, when you want to create a blog page. Now, immediately you click on the blog page icon, it's going to take you to the blogspot page. Okay, the interface, the account for you to log in. Okay, so when you click, think when you click create new blog page, it's going to prompt you to create the professional title, the URL. Now, there's a difference between the professional title and the URL. Now, the URL is like your domain name, while the professional title is like the name of your website or the name of your portfolio. For example, www.temilolajaifoundation.com.ng is the URL for Temilola Ajayi Foundation. Now, the professional title for that website is Temilola Ajayi Foundation. I hope you understand that. Okay, let me say that one more time. URL is like a domain name, Okay, that is where you have the www dot, a specific name, either .com.ng or .org.ng, depending on which one you pick. Okay, so just like we have www.temilolajayifoundation.com.ng, okay, which is the URL, we have Temilolajayi Ajayi Foundation, which is the professional title. Okay, so you are going to be facing something like that as well. This is very important because you don't need to mistake it. Don't think if you say your own professional title is Amaka Igwe, then your URL has to be amakaigwe@blogspot.com. Okay, it doesn't have to be like that. You can say Amaka Igwe, executive virtual assistant. Then your URL can carry something like work with Amaka, work with Amaka@blogspot.com. Okay, so this is very, very important. Now, let's read what we have here. Now, your blog title should tell a client exactly who you are and what you do within 3 seconds. Within 3 seconds. Now, a great title usually follows this formula: the full name plus the primary skill or role. Now, I've listed 3 approaches here. Now, you can see the executive approach, Fabumi Akin. Then we have slash executive virtual assistant. Okay, then we have the specialist approach, Fabumi Akin. Then we have the slash data and technical support specialist. So you can use one of these. Then we have the solution approach, which says efficient support by Fabumi Akin. Okay, so this is focusing on the benefits to the client. It could be efficient support, it could be technical support by Fabumi Akin. Now, don't forget, this is the professional title. The professional title part should be as close to your name as possible. It is what people will see or see in the link. Okay, so guideline for a pro URL. So if you want to create a URL, keep it short. Now avoid words like the official blog of Fabumi. You can just use Fabumi-VA. Okay. Now also avoid numbers. Don't write Fabumi Akin 123. Okay, it looks like a professional email. Okay, use professional suffix instead. All right. Now avoid underscores. Bloggers use iPhone instead of underscore. This is why we have Fabumi-VA instead of Fabumi_VA. I hope that explains what this very well. Now, if fabumi.blogspot.com is taken, try this variation. Okay, now you can do the role-based version. That's Fabumi Akin va.blogspot.com. Or you try the action-based work with akin.blogspot.com. Or try the expert-based Fabumi Akin pro.blogspot.com. Or you can try location-based Fabumi Akin Nigeria.blogspot.com. But of course, you should not always use more of Nigeria and the location based, because you would also want to project yourself to international clients. So even the international client is seeing you, they'll feel like, oh, you only work with people in Nigeria. Okay, so try to don't use the location based as much as it is written here, but it's on the expertise base. I hope this explains a lot. So it's just like saying, oh, if I want to open my own personal blog space, and I try rootajayi@blogspot.com, and they said, oh, somebody has already used this. I can try to use rootajayi-va.blogspot.com. And if they said somebody is using this as well, I can try to use work with roots or work with Miss Roots.blogspot.com. One of those ones that I just mentioned, it will work. Okay, so this is why you should, um, pay attention to this part, because once you set a blogspot link, it is forever, unless maybe you delete the old blogspot account. Once you set the link, it is forever. Okay, now the blog title itself, it is going to be very hard for you to change it also. So once you, this is why this section is actually very important for this part, for this session, this training. This section is very important, so that once you create it, you know that yes, you've created what works and what will work. Okay, so you should always think of the client factor. If my client should see this link, would they consider it professional? Would they see it as that, yes, she knows what she's doing? Okay, this is what you need to consider before you comment. Now, we also have page and labels that you need to create. We have page and labels that you need to create, especially when you are into the blogspot system. Okay, you've already created the professional title, you've created the URL. The next part that you need to create is the pages and the label. Okay, now these are very important labels and pages that you need to what you need to create. So in the course of our training, the live training, I'm going to explain to you the difference between the pages and the label and how you can use them to your advantage. Okay, so the first one is the home or welcome page. Now, by default, the Google Blogger has an home page. Okay, so that anytime you make a post, it's going to go directly to that home page. Okay, but I would advise for you not to, use that home page. Create a custom home page for yourself, and this custom home page should have, number one, a professional headshot. Okay, the second one is a value statement. So this could be like your professional bio. Okay, it's one sentence explaining how you make clients' life easier. So this is very important. Let me see if I'm still projecting this particular slide. Okay, I think we are still good. Okay, so another thing you should add in your own page is quick links to the most popular service that you offer. Quick links to the most popular service that you offer. So, for those that don't, maybe I don't know how this is projecting, but I'm going to share this slide with you so that you can go through it in case there's anything that you need to still go back on to check. Okay, so that is the home page and your welcome page. So don't forget that generically we have home page on the blog site, but you should create a new one so that it would automatically show the client where you want them to land on. Okay, now we also have the about me page, which you need to create. Now this would include your background. You can briefly mention your education and your journey into your virtual assistant work. Okay, so you can say, oh, about me, I am a Demilola Jai Foundation certified virtual assistant, certified on February 2026, where I attained the skills to do so thing. A brief mention of your education. I studied in a state university or Lagos State University where I did history and international studies, and I am well familiar. Put something that is very good within your about me so that it relates well to your client. They know that yes, it's not just that you learned this skill, you're also versatile in this industry. Okay, now you can also mention your core values like clear communication, efficiency, reliability. These are things that clients would want to see um, in your about me section. Then always add like a human touch, like your hobby, but make sure that it is not something that is elaborate or something that is not related to your professional journey. So instead of saying, oh, I like to cook and I like to dance, these are not professional hobbies. Okay. So you can say you like technological exploration, you like reading, reading is also good. Okay. You like traveling, you like making research. Okay, these are professional hobbies that you need to put in your about me section. Now we have the service and rates section. This is another part of the page that you need to create. Okay, so this would include the service lead will include you breaking this into categories. So things that you practically do. So if you're an administrative virtual assistant, okay, you can put it here that, oh, these are my services. I do virtual assistant, I do administrative support for clients, I do brand management, support for clients. And if you are the technical kind of virtual assistant, like, oh, I create websites for clients, I do troubleshooting, I update plugins for clients, things like that. And if you are into the social media platform, you can say, oh, I make regular analytics, for clients. I perform data entry for client. These are specific things that should, include the kind of thing you do as a virtual assistant. See that this is why the portfolio is a big deal for every virtual assistant. Is a big deal. Now, the packages that you offer. So, is your work the kind that you prefer a monthly or an hour-based pay? Would you prefer a contract-based pay? Or would you like them to retain you and maybe pay you every 2 weeks or every month or every 3 months, depending on the um, the kind of work packages that you offer? This is very, very important. Okay, so even before, don't forget, you're not begging anybody for work. Okay, you're not begging anybody for work. You're telling we've always said this over and over in the course of this training that you're an independent partner. Okay, so start seeing yourself as such. Don't see yourself as, oh, I need to beg this person to give me this job. Where we know the situation of the country, you have to struggle to get a particular job. But if you prove yourself desperate for a particular job, you know, the mentality and idea behind that you begging is that it's going to reduce, the value that you bring into that job. Okay, so even if you are doing so much for this particular client, they will see that they are doing you a favor. Okay, so always put, your prices, the packages that you offer. Let them know that yes, in fact, in a situation where you handle more than 3 4 clients, there is no you would have to put your time, your calendar schedules and all those things. Oh, I'm available on Tuesday and Thursdays only, you know something like that. Now, the tools you also use, okay, you list them or you name the software that you've mastered. So, for example, like Canva, like Google Gemini, like you can handle the whole of Google Workspace. These are important things that you need to put in your service and rates. Now, don't forget when I was saying that in the Canva class that you need to make sure that any tool you are using, especially if they are paid for, is part of you don't just you know give it out for free. You don't just use it for client work for free. Make sure that all the tools you are using, the amount of those tools, even if you are mitigating them, you are slashing the price and saying, okay, all the tools I use cost 50,000 naira. Naturally, I would pay 25,000 naira. Okay, so, and I have two clients that use that particular tool. One of them can pay 10,000 naira, the other person can pay 15,000 naira. Yes, you are not supposed to tell them that this is how you use your tool, but make sure that it is part of how much you charge. Okay, so if you're charging 100,000 naira, now you can charge 125,000 naira. Okay, you can charge another person 110,000 naira. This is how you should always, you know, the tools you use are very important. Like I mentioned before, now they are what will make your work faster. Okay, so you need to make sure that they are cater. You don't find you are not struggling to keep up on those tools. Okay, now we have the portfolio, which is the next one, and this is where all your work comes in. Now, you're not going to be building your portfolio as a page, okay, because there are different dynamics to how you can showcase your services. You are going to be creating this as a label. Hopefully, I'm going to be telling you how that works. But your portfolio should contain your case study. For example, I have helped a client reduce their email response time by 50%. Okay, then you show them screenshots, make sure that it is all blurred, but they can still see that, yes, this is the before picture and this is the after picture of how you've been able to organize, you know, everything for that particular client. Okay, now another label you need to have is the testimonial label, where you can get quotes from your past employers or your clients. Okay, now remember I mentioned before this, I think before this slide, that if you are just starting out, you can ask somebody to give you a character reference. Okay, so you can say, Miss Ruth, I just started out as this virtual assistant, but I don't have any clients and no testimonial. Can you please help me write a character reference? Okay, so if I say, okay, no problem, this is your character reference, and I draft something for you, you can take that draft and put it in the testimonial as part of your. Okay, this will also serve as well. um okay, let me see, my screen is still sharing. Okay, so now the last one is the contact me page. Now, don't forget, everything you need to do is centered around your clients communicating with you after they viewed your portfolio. If a client sees your portfolio and does not even bother to reach you, then you need to go back to that portfolio to re-strategize. Okay, the end goal is for your clients to reach you. This is why the contact page is very, very important. Now, you can have a dedicated contact form on Blogger. Now, like I mentioned, Blogger has this inbuilt contact form. Immediately you somebody type in maybe their name, their email, or a message, automatically you will get it in your inbox, your Gmail inbox. Okay, so it is versatile. It's good. Okay, now your contact page should also have your email. Okay, don't forget there's a difference between the contact form and the contact page. Yes, there's a difference between it. Now, the contact page itself should have your contact form, it should have your professional email address, then link to maybe your LinkedIn or any of your professional social media profile. Okay, you can see that there's a whole lot going into creating a portfolio. This is why I wanted to have a live class with everybody, but the network was a bit bad, so we couldn't have that. Okay, so this is very, you can say I took my time to explain this. All these pages, all these labels are very, very important. Now, don't forget, before you start to create your blogspot page, make sure that you have everything that you want to do on that particular site written down. Okay? Don't forget, you need a clear idea of the virtual assistant niche that you need to do. Okay? Now, let's move forward. Now, what are the common mistakes that you need to avoid? Now, I've seen a lot of people have a blog spot and they still make mistake, even though it is quite generic to understand. It's not something that is so difficult. A lot of people still make mistakes when creating their blogspot account. Okay, now the first one is neglecting visual design. So just like how you go to a particular website and you will feel confused, okay, it is the same thing with a blog spot. If you don't build it well, your clients will get confused. So you need to pay attention to all visuals that you're making. This is why you having some sort of graphic knowledge is important. I hope you can all see that now. So for those of you that think I was torturing you going to Canva to design something, no, because at any point in time, you would find yourself within that graphic environment. Yes, you will find yourself there. So why not start now? Okay, so in fact, I want everybody to actually know that I'm not using it to punish them to, learn certain aspects of graphics. Okay, me introducing you to Canva, me introducing you to, for example, this blogspot now, okay, is to remove that jinx, that fear that, oh, this would feel too technical for me to get, or this will feel too difficult. Okay, don't have that mentality. All right, so let's go back to these mistakes. Now, the first one, like I mentioned, is neglecting visual design. Visual design is very important, and we have different types on the blog spot. So you might need to choose one that reflects well with you. So just like how we have what we did on Canva, where I said it is subjective to what you want to do as a virtual assistant, we also have the same thing. Two blogspot cannot be the same. Yes, two blogspot cannot be the same. Even if the designs are the same, the content will have to be different. Now, the next one is failing to regulate to update regularly. If you do any changes, if you have any changes in your portfolio, please always make sure to update them regularly. Okay. The next one is using unprofessional username or URL. So don't just use something like that's one I told you earlier that says Fabumi Akim 12345. Don't use that. It is not professional. Okay. So unless maybe you are creating the blog spot as a personal diary, which I expect everybody on this training not to do, okay, don't use unprofessional usernames or URL. Now, overloading pages with text. You should always have a semblance of text and image. And sometimes, because you can also make videos, okay, you can make videos on your YouTube. You can do it, you can even do it like an introductory video. You can say, oh, hello, good morning, good afternoon. My name is Amaka Ikwe. I'm an executive virtual assistant and I would like to welcome you to my portfolio. Simple as that. Put it on YouTube. Put the link on your blogspot so that anytime a client comes, to your blogspot, that video will be the first thing they see. Okay, you need to be very creative about these things. Very, very, very important. Okay. The next one is poor grammar and spelling. So please make sure that um, check your grammars and spelling. And of course, I've always told you can use artificial intelligence to make sure that everything is in line with that. But make sure you don't copy word for word. The best way to use AI, especially with generative AI, is to write something, okay, write it yourself, then put it into the AI, to cross check, to check for grammars, to check for spellings and words. Okay, this is the best way to use it. Don't just give AI everything, so that they can just, because communication matters. And if a client is saying that, oh, all your work is done by AI, they will feel that they don't need to, you know, engage you in any work. Now, missing contact information, please always add a contact information. You can see it's very important. Okay, now treating the portfolio like a personal diary. Don't do that. Okay, this is work portfolio. It should not be a personal diary. Now, no clear description of service offered. These are some of the common mistakes that people make. Unclear or confusing navigation. This is where you need to make sure that the theme you're using, layouts you're using are very specific. Then we have inconsistent fonts, colors, formatting. We have lack of focus on a specific VA niche. Okay, so this, you can see, this is why it is very important. Now, don't forget, you can have more than 2 blogspot page. Yes, you can have it. So if you offer, if you're a law virtual assistant and you're also an administrative virtual assistant, and you don't want to combine those two together, you can have 2 different portfolio for it. Yes, you can have it. So make sure that you don't just combine everything together and then show it to your clients. They will feel confused. For somebody who is a virtual assistant, and you are giving your virtual assistant portfolio to a medical personnel, they would feel like you're not ready for the job. Okay, because those two do not correlate. Now, not highlighting tools, software, or skills you use, using stock content without customization, don't do that also. Absence of work samples or mock projects. So, yes, another thing I forgot to mention is that even if you've not gotten a particular job, from a particular client, you can, collaborate with some of your teammates on this call. Okay, give yourself peculiar tasks to handle. In fact, one of the things I wanted to do was to try to, I'm going to engage few people, on exceptional people that I know are performing very well in this training. I'm going to engage you in Royal Roots Professional Management Services. Yes, where I would give you peculiar tasks to, do, because we even have a freelance network. I'm going to see if I'm going to be engaging few of you in those platforms. Okay, so even if you don't have a client yet, find mock-up projects to work on so that you can build your portfolio. Yes, it is very important. It's not just about having a certificate and then trying to tell everybody that, oh, I'm a virtual assistant, I can do your work. No, find mock projects to work on so that people know that yes, you are active. Okay, now broken link on missing pages. Always cross check on everything that you do on your blogspot page. Overusing animations or decorative elements, I would advise you not to do that. Then slow loading icons or oversized files. Don't add any attachments that will be too difficult for your clients to open. So, for example, if you are trying to add an attachment to a particular post, and then it's something that is so heavy, like maybe 3 gig heavy, okay, or maybe 5 gig heavy, something that will take so long for the client to open. Please don't add such. You can just, put a link to a Google Drive so that they can see it there. But instead, don't put it inside the your post that you're making on the blog spot. Okay, anything you do on that blog spot should be lightweight. Okay, even the video that I just mentioned about, you can see that it is not more than 30 seconds for what I just said. Hello, my name is Amaka Igwe. Welcome to my portfolio. Okay, you can see it's no more than 30 seconds. You can just give like an elevator pitch speech so that they know that yes, they're in the right space. Okay. Now, writing from a personal perspective instead of client value. So do not say I. You can use the I factor, but make sure that you're projecting value to the client. Okay. Don't just say, oh, what kind of example can I use? Okay, so don't just say things in the don't just say things in the I factor generally. Okay, um, don't let your perception or your words in crafting out how you do your work. Don't let it be myopic in nature. Okay, so just let it be something that, oh, when clients read, they know that yes, you can do this, but this is the value they can get from it. Okay, now no call action or next step for clients. A lot of people don't put the next step for clients. So if your next step is, oh, maybe they need a clarity call or they need to set a meeting with you immediately they see the portfolio, please put an appointment link. I've taught you how to do an appointment link. Put it on your portfolio, or you go to Calendly. I'm not sure I taught you how to use Calendly, but you can use the Google link feature. Now the Calendly feature too is just like the Google. So just go to Calendly, sign up with them. It will put you through the process of generating your first link that you can share to your client. And once they, click on that link, they can schedule a certain time, for you to have a call with them or a meeting with them depending on what you want, but make sure that that contact information is available so that even if they don't want to set a meeting, they can quickly send you an email or they can quickly give you a call. Okay, so these are very important and these are common mistakes. They are very minute, but they are common mistakes that most virtual assistants they make when creating this blog spot of a thing. Now, let's go to the live walkthrough. Please give me a minute to set this up. Okay, so now I just logged into my dummy account. Now you can see when I entered my account, it took me directly to Gmail, and that's because I have a Gmail bookmarked on my Google. So it's taking me directly to Gmail. So from here, I can easily just navigate to the Google blogspot. Now, don't forget, if you want to go to the blog spot, you click on this 9 icon at the top here. Okay, so you just need to click on it. It will bring out the options that are available for you. That's all the tools for Google. And then you can just search for where the blog spot is. Okay, so here is it. We've identified the blogger page now. You can see it here. This is the blogger page. So we just need to click on it for it to take us there. Okay, so this is the next interface you are going to be seeing when you open the blogger account. Okay, so you can see create your blog. You can see it here. You can see sign in here. So for the purpose of this, let's just click create your blog. For I think for first timers, let's just click create your blog. So let's see what it will bring out for us. Okay, so now you can see it's asking for authentication just to make sure that, oh, this particular person has an email account and, sorry, a Google account. And, they need to confirm that this particular Google account is the one I want to use to create the blog account. So make sure that any Gmail you are using is the right one. Okay, anyone you're using is the right one. So let me click on this. Okay, so you can see it's asking for verification. So I just need to make sure that I'm verified to do this function. So let me click on next. Okay, so it's asking for my password just to clarify. So let me just do that. Okay, so my password is in. Let me, okay. So you can see after authentication, okay, it needs to confirm that yes, this is actually this person that has this account. Okay, so we are now into the blog spot page. Okay, now you can see that we have choose the name of your blog. Now remember that I told you that the professional blog sites, like the professional title, is different from your URL. So you can see that this is where the title is. Choose a name for your blog. This is the title that will be displayed at the top of your blog. Okay, so for the purpose of this class, let me just use Roots Ajayi. Okay, I put a separator and says executive virtual assistant. Okay, so let me just use this. Okay, so don't forget that anything you use, you can only do 100 characters. So don't let it be more than 100 characters. So your name and what you do, or don't forget I gave you 3 options. So you can go back to the video to check the 3 options I gave you. But this one is okay for me. So let me click on next. Now you can see we have choose the URL for your blog. Okay, choose the URL. So let me try Roots Ajayi. Okay, blogspot.com. Is this available? It's going to check if this is available. You can see checking address availability. So let's give it a couple of seconds to check if this is available. So you can see, sorry, address is not available. Okay, so let me see if I can put the dash VA to it. Okay, let's see if this one is available. Okay, this must be my network. It's taking a little bit more time than expected. Okay, let's just give it a few more seconds. Okay, so if this blog address is available, you can see that status has changed. So I can definitely now use rootajayi-va.blogspot.com as my URL. Okay, so this is showing that yes, it is available. So I just need to click on my next. So it's asking for display name. How do you want your name displayed to readers of your blog? Root Ajayi is fine, right? Okay, I think I can just repeat that. Root Ajayi, executive virtual assistant. Okay, so I think I can still reuse this, but this, I think this one particularly is something that you can still change maybe later. Okay, so this is the display name, but you can definitely just use root Ajayi. Like you can use just your name, maybe your first and your last name, just so this is perfect. Okay, so let's finish this. So it's processing the blog site for me. So let's just give this a couple of seconds for us to get access to our blog site. So I think this is my network. So how fast your network is will determine how quick it will set up. So let's just wait. Should be doing anytime from now. Still loading from here. Okay, so how fast this would work will depend on your network. So please have a stable network. My network have been bad all day. So have a stable network when you're doing this. Okay, so this is what the blogspot looks like. Let me try to, okay. So this is what it looks like. Let me try to increase this a bit. Okay. So we have the left side panel here, and then we have the reading interface here. Okay, now don't forget I mentioned that you can have more than one blogspot. Okay, this is where you can do those functions. So you can see this button here. Oh, it's still loading. It's still loading. I think it's still setting up a lot of things. Okay, so while it's still loading, let me quickly put you through on the features we have here. So we have posts. Okay, we have the post function here where you can, create a post. And remember I said that your post and your label goes hand in hand. Okay, then we have stats. So you want to see how many people are checking this blog space. So this is like a small analytic stat that you can use to check it. Now, if anybody is leaving any comments under any of your posts, any of your pages, it would automatically, you can automatically see it at the comment section. Okay, you can see that it's still loading. It's my network, please pardon me for that. So it's still loading. So while this loads, let me continue. Now, one thing about Blogspot is that you can make money through it. Yes, you can monetize it, but this depends on a whole lot of function. Okay, so you might need to connect this with Google AdSense, and you might need to build up a following to a particular point where they know that yes, you can, like, your blog site is active and a lot of people are always checking it. So from there you can feature certain ads, to make money from your site. So, but we're not going to be paying attention to this because we are only building a portfolio, with this. If you are doing a blog page, a blog site page where you post different stories, you post different videos, articles, and whatnot, then we can discuss more on this earning. But yes, you can make money using blog posts. Okay, now we have the pages, which is where most of the work is going to be going into. We have layout. This is how your portfolio in the general aspect of things is going to be seen. Okay, then we have the team. Okay, there are different teams that they have here that you can actually employ to your website, because you already have a website. It's now, believe it or not, you already have a website. Then we have settings, then reading list. So, but let's see how the blog post looks like now. We've not done anything yet, but let's see how it looks like now. So I'm clicking view blog. Okay, I hope my network will be able to do this well. Okay, it's fast now. So you can see it's very lightweight. So if you don't have any much heavy lifting there, you can see that we have it's very quick. Okay, so now you can see that our heading, the heading we choose at first, this is it, Ruth Ajayi, Executive Virtual Assistant. And then the second one, how the blog is being, seen or read by anybody, is the same thing as Ruth Ajayi, Executive Virtual Assistant. I didn't only use Ruth Ajayi the other time. I'm only going to be saying Ruth Ajayi here. So you can definitely just use your name if you know you don't want to use something like this. Okay, I think it's still customizable. So let me see. So you can visit your profile from here. Okay, so you can see. So anytime somebody is viewing your profile, you can see that it's going to be showing here. So because I checked it myself, you can see that I already have one view. Okay, so this is very important. So let me see if I can do a little bit of editing here. So I have a document earlier. Let me see if I can check it. Okay, so let me quickly show you this before we continue. Now, remember I told you that anything you do, you would also get inbox on your email. So this is what I was talking about. So you can see that we have this email here. Okay, so anybody that subscribed to your channel, okay, your blog or anything, you're going to be seeing that here. Let me see this content. Okay, so you're going to be seeing that here. Anything that happened within your blog page or your blogspot page, you're going to be getting that information in your email as well. Okay, so I think I just needed to show you that. So yeah, so my display name, let me sorry, let me cancel this. Okay, so we are back at the settings, the profile settings. So I wanted to change this my display name so that you can see where the changes will effect on. So let me delete this and save it. Remember I told you that this particular one is something you can save. You know, you can edit and save. Now you can decide to show your contact email address, which you can do here. You can just toggle it on. Okay, that is saved. Show my profile page. Now, whether to allow access, public access to your profile page. If you want everybody to have access to it, fine. If you want it to be specifically to people that only has the link to your page, then you don't need to toggle this on. Okay. Now select blocks to display your profile. Now remember I told you that you can have more than one. Okay, you can have more than one blog blogger page accounts. This is I didn't think we have two. It will list out the two for us. It will mark it here like this. So we only have one. Okay, so if you have two, it will list out the two, and then you can just choose a particular one you want anybody to see. Now it says show sites that I follow. So you can show particular sites that you follow on your profile as well. Then you can add your professional picture. Okay, you can add it here. Now audio clips, you can add it. So just like I was saying that you can give a quick introductory information about yourself instead of the normal text. Okay, so these are certain functions that you need to add, okay, before you can, start. And then you can see that we can delete the old data and profile here. So in case you don't want to use this anymore, you're going to another platform, okay, you can just quickly delete it. There is no harm in any of it. So let's view our profile again. Okay, so you can see that we now have this profile view showing us two. Okay, so let's go back to our blog page. We might need to refresh it so that we see if there's any changes that we've made earlier. Okay, so let me refresh this. Okay, so let me see the view blog again. Oh, did I not save it? I'm not sure I did. Let me check again. Okay, I did. Okay, so let's continue with the editing. Now I want to open the blog site itself so that when we make any changes, we can see it on the actual site. We can see it in this actual space here. Let me see if this is projecting well. Okay, so we can see it here. So anytime I make a change in the settings, we can see it here. Okay, so let's go back to the dashboard. Okay, so this is the dashboard. Now we're going to be creating few functions here. Let me just delete this. Okay, so the first thing we need to do is pick out a theme. A theme, yes, this is where we go to first. So let's pick out a theme. Now you can see we have different theme here. Now by default, this is the one you are seeing when we open our view block. This is the one you're seeing. So this is by default. But we also have other ones here. You can see we have different themes that you can apply, different angles. There are some that are picture based. There are some that are word based. There are some that are picture and word based. Now, depending on what you want to do, okay, or how you want to do it. So we can try to choose any one. So let's assume I choose this one, okay, and I click on apply. Let me just click on apply. So you can see it's apply new theme successfully applied. So let me go and check. Let me see if there's any customization to what we have here. Okay, I hope I'm projecting this correctly. So let me refresh this to see if the changes is going to be affected. Okay, so it's currently loading. Okay, so yes, so the changes are there now. Okay, so the current theme that I choose is now displaying. Let me see if you guys can see this. Okay, so this is, you can see that it has now changed. Okay, so we don't have that layout that we have before. Okay, so this is, instead of the icon that we have that is search, we have it here. We have search, and then we have, I think we have navigation here. So you can see this is you can see this profile now. You can see that Root Ajayi executive virtual assistant is no longer showing here because we already deleted the executive virtual assistant and only stick to it with Ajayi. I hope you can see. So any changes you make is always going to reflect in this theme space. Okay, so let's go back to the dashboard again. So assuming I prefer the one I just choose now, I can just stick with it. But in a situation whereby I don't like it, maybe I don't like how the interface looks like, okay, I can still check for another theme. My network is getting really slow now. Okay, let me share. I'm trying to share this particular tab again. Okay, so if this particular theme is not the one you want, the one we just choose now, if this is not the one you want, you can, let me see if I'm sharing this correctly. Okay, you can always choose another one. We have different types. We have different types of themes you can use. Okay, so depending on how you want to customize it. But because of time and because of our network, I won't be able to show you everything, like how all the theme will look like. So explore on your own end. Okay, explore, see what you like, see how you prefer it. But we already checked one, so let's check another one. I think I prefer using this one. So yeah, I think I prefer using this one. And this one comes in white, it has light, and it also has a dark mode. So let me just use this white mode. Okay, so let me just apply this particular theme. Okay, so I'm currently applying it. Okay, so it's saying some gadgets may be visible. So yes, you got it. Sorry again, this is my network. I don't know really why. I'm so sorry. I'm still trying to wait for the network to come back so that I can continue. It's still loading on my own hand here. Okay, I think it's about to connect. Okay, so I think we are back. The network, I have to refresh the system for a couple of seconds so that we can go back to our training. So remember I said the one I was using before, let me change it to another one. So I'm trying to where's the other one I choose? Okay, but okay, this is it. But make sure you will choose something that you like, you reflect with, it is visually appealing. Don't forget that your design must be visually appealing. This is the only way your clients can quickly connect with you and ask for your services. So I'm trying to apply for this the other time. Okay, so so the network I think is better now. Okay, so it shouldn't take time if your network is good. It shouldn't take time. See that this is why I said your internet should be part of what you should make sure that you have available. Okay, so let's quickly check the effects of what we just applied. Now, don't forget this was what we had before. So let me refresh so that we see what we have now. Okay, so you can see that the interface has changed. This is what we now have. And I think I prefer this better. I know some of you might prefer this as well. Okay, so this is Root Ajayi Executive Virtual Assistant. So I need to customize this now. I think I like this better. Okay, so let me go back to my settings to make sure that everything is top notch. Don't forget, as we are doing everything on our dashboard, this particular dashboard, we are also going to be checking it to see the effect that it has. Okay, so now we choose the theme. So let's go to the layout. Don't forget, you need to go to the theme first before you go to the layout. Now, the layout is how the whole site will look like. Now, we have the navigation gadgets, which is what we have at the top head. Okay, let me see if I can show you immediately. So this what we have in this place. I hope you are seeing my cursor. This search, we have more, this more. Okay, so this is the navigation panel. Okay. Let me see. Yeah. So this is the navigation panel. Then this is the header. This is Root Ajayi Executive Assistant. That's the header. So that is one of the two basic ones we just saw now. Okay, so you can see it here, the navigation gadgets, then we have the header gadgets. So that's where the Root Ajayi comes in. Then we have the cross column gadgets. Now here, you can see that it is not, there's nothing there. So we can add a gadget. Okay, then you can see that we have another one, cross column 2. Okay, so we have main here, which come as the blog post gadgets. Then we have the right side bar here. You can see we can add more gadgets here too. You can see the about me, that's the profile gadgets. We can have the blog archive gadgets. Then we have the label gadgets. Now, some of these things we'll be deleting them. Yes, because we want a customized portfolio. I see why I'm saying that this class is actually very important and it's actually going to be very long. I think we'll still spend up to 20 minutes before we finish this. It is very important for this career that you are choosing. Okay, because even if you have a website, you will still follow this same logic. Okay, so then we have the sidebar. This one is going to be like the one before the last footnote page. Now, some of these things, we are going to be deleting them and be replacing with another thing. Okay, but before we even touch anything here, let's go to our pages because those are the things that we'll work with here. Don't forget we did not do anything here yet. Let's go to the pages first. We need to create pages. Okay, now we have the page here. Okay, this is the page section. You can see that there's nothing there. We don't have anything we don't have anything listed there. Okay, so now we need to add a new page. Don't forget, in the class I said that generically you have the home page, but we need to have a new home page. This is where we include our professional picture, our professional bio, and maybe a statement. Now just click the new page here. You can see it's creating new page. Okay, so you can just type home. Okay, so let me just type home here. Okay, so we would need to still add some things here. Okay, so this is where you would probably need to add your picture, your about yourself. So let me quickly see if I can do that. Okay, so this is the image icon. Don't forget that you can also add video. Okay, but this is the image icon. So let me see if I can add an image. Okay, so I need to allow cookies for it to work well. Okay, okay, so I can either drag the image here or I can check my system. So I have these two image here that I can use. So let me just drag it here. Okay, you can see I'm dragging it. I think it's still loading. Okay, so this is an image and this is another image that I can use, you know, just like for a professional outlook. Okay, so let me use this one. Let me delete this. Okay, and then don't forget, I can always resize this. Now, you can see that this is in the middle. Okay, you can decide to move it to the left or increase it, put it to the right. Then I think the size too, you can decide if you want it small. So if it's small, it's going to be smaller like this. If it's something big, if you want something large, you can have it like this also. But let's see if we can just stick to what does it look like in the original format. Let me see. Okay, so let me check the original format. So this is the original format. Okay, so this is what the original format looks like. Okay, so make sure you have a professional picture at hand before you do this. So here you can see we already have a picture. Let me see if I can add in some words to it. Okay. Okay. So let me see. I think I wrote some content somewhere. I'm trying to see if I can get those contents out so that it will be very easy for me to fast track this. I think I put this in the archive. Okay. Okay. So I'm coming. Give me a minute. Trying to load where I have um, my archive so that Okay, so this is what I'm looking for. Okay, so I just copied out the contents and I want to paste it here. Okay, so I just pasted the contents here. Now, don't forget that you also need to customize the fonts, how it looks like. Let me do that quickly. So all the tools up here are what you're going to use to get those. Okay, so let me justify this here. Can reduce the fonts. Okay, so the text, let me use, okay, vertical is good. Okay, so let me see, I think I can. Okay, let me add in the text first. Okay, so this is the text that I added. So let me just put it down. It should be down. So always know how your alignment will look like. So let me redo the, so you can see that even before I'm adding the picture now, I'm adding some of the words. Okay, so let me put this at the smallest and this. Okay, I can bold this. Okay, um, okay, so this should be normal. It shouldn't be like, okay, let me make it paragraph. Okay. So we can just align. Okay. Okay, I think it's better now. I'll make this normal. Okay. Okay, so always make sure that, I hope I'm still projecting well. So I guess it's because I copied this thing from somewhere. That is why it's not aligning well. So give me a moment, let me correct that. Okay. Okay, I think it's much better now. Yeah, this is better. So when you're copying something from maybe a document, make sure that you copy it correctly, because it's going to copy the fonts and whatnot to to this particular space. So make sure you don't face that difficulty. So let me just quickly add my image here. Let's see. Okay. Okay, so this is my image. I can try to move it here. Okay, so that I can have this good outlook. I hope these effects are being, you can see them. Okay, so just try to experiment with all these buttons here. You know, just like I told you that if you are using Canva, you would be familiar with some of these tools. These tools are just like what you are, but just what you would have on Canva. Okay, so this is the home section now. So let me just save this. Okay, let me just save this. So you just need to publish this. I hope my screen is still sharing. Okay, it's still sharing. So you just need to publish this. Okay, and don't forget that anything you do automatically, it would save them. Like it's always save. If you put a full stop, it will save it. Okay, so let me just save this immediately. So you can see publish page, confirm. So let me go back to, okay, now let me go back to the layout. Don't forget, we did something because of this layout. Yes. So let me go back to the layout and come to this cross column. So here I can add a gadget. Now, what gadget am I adding? Okay. Let me add a profile, or should I add a page? Let me add a page instead because we just created our home page. Okay, don't forget that. So let me create a page. Okay, I've clicked on the page. Now, by default, this is the page that we have, the home page. This is what we have. So we don't need this one because anytime anybody comes to this place, all your posts, all your page, this is where they meet it. So we delete this item here. Okay, then we add a new one. Now, once we click on page name, it's going to bring out the home for us. So you can see we have two home here now. Let's click on the second one so that we can see where the URL is. Now this URL is the basic one. Let's click on the other one. Okay. I'm trying to see where we have two home. It shouldn't have the same URL. Let me see. Okay, I'm going to find out the one that has the other one now. Let me just click on this. Okay, so let me save this first. I'm coming. Um, okay, so let me check. Let me check the blogspot itself. Let's see if our changes, maybe they are put to effect. So don't forget you get everything in order. So you can see here we have two homes, two homes. So let's click on this. So this particular one we clicked first is not bringing out anything. What about the second one? Okay, it's not affecting that. So we need to go back to our settings. Okay, let's go back to our settings. Maybe our page did not load correctly. Okay, so let's share this. Let me share this tab with you. So this is what we created. This is what we created. You can see it's actually published. But let's see what it look like. Okay, so let me click on the look button here. Okay, so this is what we created. So now this particular URL now is what I need to get. So I think maybe because we called it home, it's interfering with the other home that we created. Okay, so this is what your client should land on when they enter your portfolio. This is what you land on. Okay, so you might need to work around how to create this to a particular point where it looks good like this. Okay, so if your client sees something like this now, yeah, they know that yes, you know what you're doing. um Let me go back to the posts. Okay, so I need to. Oh, I'm not even sure if I shared this tab. Okay, so this is what it looks like. This is what it looks like. I'm not sure I shared it the other time. So this is what the page look like. So I just copied the URL link now. So that's what I'm going to be using on my home. So let me go back to that layout. Okay, so this is the layout. So let me check this page again. So I just come to the edit. Okay, so let me delete this too because they are quite generic. Oh, so let me edit this one and then put that URL. So you can see that the URL is now there. So this is what, so we have the home, but you can see that we have different URLs. So this is the URL I was looking for. So let me just click on it and then save. So by the time, let me save this again. So by the time I go back to that my post, okay, let me go back to my account. Okay. By the time I come back to this place, this home place, this where we did not see this thing, our profile before. Let me refresh it now. You should see that changes. Okay, so let me just click on the home. Aha. So you should see it immediately. So it has to do with the settings at the dashboard back end. So you see that anything you want to do in that place, you need to make sure that they correlate with what you have in your profile. So if I'm sharing this with any clients now, this is where they will meet. This is the home page. They see my picture, they see, oh, I help business owner and executive get their time back. Running a business shouldn't mean buried under emails, messy spreadsheets, blah, blah, blah. If you are looking for an assistant who is reliable, tech savvy, and ready to take ownership of your to-do list, you're in the right place. You see, this is like a welcome note from me to my client. Okay, so we'll go into the next ones, but we won't talk so much, we won't do elaborate work on it. So all we need to do is create more page. Don't forget you can click on the new page here. Okay, let me share my screen back. Okay, so you can click on the new page here, click it, put the about section. Okay, so let me put the about here. About, okay, you can say about me. Okay, to personalize it, publish this one. Don't forget that you still have to come back to this interface to put in something here. Okay, but let me just confirm it for now so that we can see the effect and then just quickly move forward. Then add another one. Okay, add another page, call it maybe services. Okay, services, so that they know that this is what you do and how you do it. Publish this one also. Okay, don't forget you still come back to these pages to work on them, but you are just still creating it down. What else do we need to create? Let's create a contact me page. Okay, so these are quite important. This is why you need to, contact me. Okay, so let's publish this one also. Okay, so confirm. Okay, so you can see we have these pages set up. Okay, so if I should go back to my dashboard, my my account, the front end, okay, and I click refresh, okay, I should be seeing the effects of those profiles. It's not listed. Oh, sorry. We will need to go back to our layout to add them. So let's go back to layout. Okay. Yeah. So let's go back to layout. So this is the layout. So click on the layout to add these new pages. And how can you add it? Don't forget that we have the cross column here, and then you just need to edit it. Okay, then you can add in more of those pages. So here we can click on the about me. Okay, save this. Okay, add a new item. Click on the service page. Save this. Okay, click on a new item. Okay, click this. Add the contact me. Okay, so those are the 4 we created. So you can just do what? Save it. So once it's saved, you can safely go back to the dashboard, refresh it. Okay, refresh it, and then you have it. So you can see that we have the about me, we have services, we have contact me. Now don't forget that you will need to go back to these individual profiles to make sure that you have content like the ones we created in the home section. Okay, now I mentioned something about label where you can add your portfolio, that's the work you've done for maybe clients in the past, then testimonials as well. So those are going to be the last thing we talk about. Then I want you to go and experiment on your own end how to navigate this platform. Okay, so the first thing you need to do is come to post for that particular label creation. Come to posts. Okay, so this post is where you can create those labels. So you can see that immediately we click on this post, this place that we used to check our click page has now turned to new posts. Yeah, so in case you start looking for web page post, where to create new page, where to create new post, you can see it here. Once you click on new post, once you click on this post here, this changed to new post. Once you click on pages, this changed to new pages. Okay, so let me click on the post back and then click on new post. Okay, so here I can add my portfolio. Okay, so here is my portfolio. So here now, if you look at the right hand side here, you will see that we have labels, but because we've not added any labels, okay, so it's going to be very difficult for us to attach a label to it, but that's not something difficult. So let's just click publish. Okay, publish this. Okay, now if you check this angle here, I hope I'm still projecting well. Okay, I think so. So if you check this post page now, you can see that we have revert to draft, we have apply label to this post, then we have move to post to the bin, then we have view, and then your profile. So here I can just click on the label. This is the label icon. So once I click on it, it will ask me to add a label or to select a label. So let me see if I can just add uh, my work. Let me see. Okay, so you can see that my work has now been attached to this portfolio. So anytime I create something, okay, and I call it my work, it will automatically attach it to your portfolio. Okay, so this is very important because it avoids you messing up your page so that all the pages and everything will not be scattered. Okay, this is very, 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 very important. Okay, so this is how you create it. So I can create a new post again, and call it, okay, let me call it statements from um, ABC capitals. I'm trying to show you how diverse this thing can be. ABC capitals. Then I can add that label. That's my, you can see that my work is now showing here. So if I click this, okay, it means it's part of my portfolio. Okay. Another angle you can use it is, okay, let me publish this first. Maybe you don't want to use this in this angle. Let's say you want to say this is a directly my portfolio. You know, when we say your portfolio, we say it's your work. Okay, so let me delete this so that I can show you I think the easiest way to do it. So I'm deleting this too. Okay, I'm deleting this too. So let me start from, so we've done work for Mr. Adefemi. Okay, sorry, I can put administrative, okay, function. Okay, so let me pick the administrative function. Okay, so let me put, let me publish this. Okay, don't forget we are trying to add a portfolio now. Okay, the easiest way, so that anytime they are checking your portfolio label, they see that, oh, administrative function is what you do. So for here we can just put the label. So we are creating a new label now and we are calling it portfolio. I want to show you, so instead of calling it my work, I can just put portfolio here and click apply. So you can now come back to this page, click on it, and then talk about that administrative function. You can say, my work, you know, entails blah 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 blah, something like that. So anything you talk about here would have to, attend to this pain point of this administrative function. So you click update. Okay, so that is one. Okay, trying to update this. Okay, I think I will just spend a few more minutes before the network acts up again. Trying to update this. Okay, maybe I should save it as, let me select update it from here. The network, the network, the network. Okay, let me try to refresh. Copy this. Okay. Oh, okay. I forgot we already saved this. So let me delete it. Okay, so now let's see if we can update this. Okay, I think it's updated. So let me go back. Okay, so let me quickly check the inbox. That reminds me, I'm not sure we added the label feature. So this. Let's check our layout to check if there's anything relating to label here. Okay, so okay, there's something relating to label. So let me quickly see um, how to. Okay, okay. Let me just save this. Don't be afraid to check on the settings, to navigate on everything. Like I mentioned, don't be afraid to click on something. Okay, so let me go back to my profile and check if this is even affecting at all. Okay, let me refresh. Okay, so you can see we have the labels. You can see we have portfolio and we have one. So if I click on this portfolio here now, aha, so you can see we have the administrative function. Okay, so this is how you will be doing your work steadily, steadily, steadily. The main aspect of everything, I think I've just explained it. So let everybody just go and try this out, and see where they land. Okay, so if we would need to have, you can see that this administrative function, you can see my work entails, you can see it here. Okay, so you can add more information here. Any information you add, you're going to be seeing here. So imagine if you are presenting this to your client. When they click on the home function, they see this. When they click on your portfolio, they see this. When they click on your about me, they see something peculiar. These are important, things that it is usually in a portfolio. Okay, so this is why the blog spot page should be something that every virtual assistant should have, because it's like a mini website for you. Okay, so let's go back to our slide. I think we've used so much time now. Okay, let's go back to our slides so that I can upload this video, and then we can move from this. So everybody should go and try this out based on the the training. Yeah. So we've done a little bit of walkthrough. So everybody go and practicalize. In fact, go and even create your page. Then from there you can start editing what you want to do one after the other in. But make sure you have all your content ready. Okay. So if there's any questions you would like to ask in the comment section, please ask them. Then I would either update with a video, or we can decide to, do more tutorials. Or I can just address them in a new video. Okay, so ask your questions. Now, this is going to be the task for today. You have to create your account. Make sure you set a professional blog title and a URL, okay? Professional, emphasis on professional. Then choose a clean and simple theme. Create this static page. Create the home page, the about me page, the service page, and the contact page. Then have this labels to create, the portfolio label and the testimonial label. So just like how I created that portfolio label, in the post section, okay, create something like that as well. I've shown you the simplest way to go about the portfolio label. Then create the testimonial label. So I didn't add this testimonial, but you can just use the same format of portfolio to create the testimonial. Then write a short profile bio. Okay, you could include that in your home section or in the previous about section that I showed you earlier. So just try to navigate your way around it, experiment with everything there so that you can, project how you want your clients to see certain things. Okay, then make sure you list 3 virtual assistant services. This should be in either your service page, yeah, in fact, it should be in your service page mostly. Okay, list 3 virtual assistant service work that you do. Then this is about. Don't forget, you can add your educational experience, your professional hobbies, etc. Reflect back on this PDF. I'm going to make it available for you. Then you publish this blog. In fact, immediately you are doing the work, just keep publishing it. Then send a screenshot of what your front end looks like. Okay, the front end of your blog. Send what it looks like and send the URL of your blog. Okay, so this will form the basics of your task for the day. I hope everybody understands it to this point. If there is any question, please comment it in the comment section. I will either follow up on the group chat or I will address it with a new video. Don't forget your assessment for the week is coming tomorrow, so get prepared for that as well. All right, so we'll talk later on. Have a lovely day, everybody. Bye.